fucking quick.
Yeah, they come in quick now, as long as you do them online.
Yeah, that's what I did. I did it online. I'm gonna buy that Olivier Coipel Midtown Comics Action Comics 1000 variant.
Yeah.
And I'm ordering that Patrick Gleason Newberry Comics variant because there's only 2,500 of the Patrick Gleason variant. It's already going. I don't understand. Like on eBay, it's going for like $20 to $45, but you can still buy it at NewberryComics.com for $15. Like, what's the point of that?
Yeah, eBay is just fucking crazy.
It's ridiculous. But I was like, I want both of those variants.
Like, if you go for comics, they always try to rape you, I feel like.
Oh yeah. But once
if you want to buy this one dude's trying to sell the Catwoman Rebirth cover for $35. You can get it at my comic shop for $3. They still have them.
I know. What's the point of that? That's why I want to get these, like the Midtown Comics and the Newberry variant, because there's only like 2,500. So when they sell out, then like down the couple of years down the line, they might be worth something. But right now, I mean, you could probably offload them to a sucker, but
yeah, I was gonna get the 30s variant, but it sold out by the time they got there because they got someone new doing the polls, so they set aside the wrong one for me.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting the 90s one because that was my second choice anyway. It's pretty much the only other time I read Superman religiously besides like Rebirth.
Yeah. It's been a long time until like New 52. I didn't read Superman since the 90s. Same thing.
Yeah,
Death of Superman. That was the last Superman I ever read. Well, Red and Blue was the last Superman I ever read.
Yeah, like none of these. Everyone's trying to hawk these Batman comics for a fortune, and there's literally no bids on any of them.
I just want the ones that weren't in the store. That they look like the coolest ones, like the Jason Fabok, the Gleason.
Yeah, the Fabok one is the one I wanted. I was real disappointed when that wasn't an option of like one of the decades.
Yeah, they saved them for like special editions for some reason. I don't know which one that is, because I know one because they're like exclusive to stores. So I don't know which one the Fabok one. I haven't looked that up yet, but I found the couple others. They're all like $15 a piece online. I'll be like, I'll get them. I'll get like a copy of each.
The Fabok one on eBay is pretty. It's like $50 at minimum. Here's one, 25. It's Yesteryear Comics exclusive.
Holy shit.
Let me go to the website here.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to get it.
Let me see. Yesteryear Comics, Facebook.
Yesteryear Comics.
They store these fuckos. They don't have like a website.
No, they don't. Oh, so you have to like go there.
Facebook.
I found one for $24.99.
Yeah, that's I think the one that they're selling.
Each one that's specific to a store, like fucking Gleason, Fabok, and the other one, they're all 2,500 copies. That's it. So once they're gone,
yeah, they're gone.
They're gone. Yeah, I want to get one so bad. I'll probably throw down $25 for that. It's only $10 more than the other ones.
Yeah, he's my favorite artist right now. So you know,
I wish he did more. Like,
yeah, I liked his tweet the one day.
Which one?
I don't know. He's just like he seemed like he came out of depression all of a sudden, and I'm gonna actually message Yesteryear.
How do I get a copy of that? What was it? It was Yesteryear Comics. Yeah, they got a Facebook. That's it. Closed. Strip Mall Comic Shop. How did they get a variant of their own? It's like this small little comic store.
Is it in Toronto by chance? Oh no, it's in California. I was going to say, if it's like Toronto, like someplace he lives by, that would make sense.
Didn't you say you were looking for tickets for San Diego?
No, I'm not going to the Comic-Con. My cousin's graduating Navy SEAL school.
Well, the store is in San Diego.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So you could just walk in and grab like.
Yeah, I'm not going to June though. I know I'm not going to June though.
Oh, that sucks because you'd be like, "Can I reserve a copy?"
Yeah. Well, I just messaged them on Facebook, so we'll see what they say. All right, let's get going here.
I gotta have it.
Yeah. Well, let's see what they say because that'll be beyond convenient. I never have luck like that, so that would be strange. All right, guys, welcome. This is the Marvel Minute. I am Brandon, as always, joined by my man Trevitt. Trevitt, what is up?
Nothing much. Just got done washing some dishes.
Yeah, I just woke up. I'm the girls went to visit her mom in Pennsylvania, so I got an empty house. And this is my one day off this week, so that's awesome.
Yeah, completely free.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk a little comics, then I'm gonna maybe play a little video game, plural, and then read some more comics. Yeah, but we're talking Infinity Countdown 2 right now. That is written by Jerry Dugan, our team of Aaron Cooter, Mike Hawthorne, I wrote Aaron Cooter again for some reason, Terry Pallett, and Jordy Belair. I think that's because he does inks too on top of
he does his
pencils.
own.
I was half asleep doing this morning. Marvel Comics is the company putting this out for our consumption, and we're going to get into our blurb, discuss this book, tell you guys what we think, and let you know to buy, borrow, or forget it altogether. But yeah, Infinity Countdown continues to lead us down the path to the future Infinity Wars event coming. And it's into its final month without any tie-ins that I'm going to be forced to make a decision on here. So I'm really enjoying the story so far. Will this month's issue number 2 push me in the direction of being all in to want 4 titles next month, 5 in June and 3 in July? Let's go over and discuss possibly all that, if I remember to at the very end. So yeah, our issue begins here with a brief disclaimer. Not long ago, that we got this dwarf guy who we've seen maybe once or twice before throughout these issues as he pounds away at some metal to make a mysterious weapon. I'd love to know a little more detail about it. First, I thought it was, a new Infinity glove, really. It doesn't look like that right now.
I heard it was armor.
Is it armor?
That's what I heard. I think I read that somewhere.
Yeah,
that
I was trying to I brought my nose right to the page to try to creep in on what he's pounding at, but it doesn't really look like you can tell very well.
No, I think it is maybe it is a new gauntlet because I mean he is banging on a sword, but
yeah.
Oh no, wait, that's the sword he put to his neck, but maybe it is a new gauntlet because they're new stones, so they got to refit or something.
Yeah, so we'll see. That'll obviously be revealed in time. The dwarf is threatened to speed up the process or else by another of the story's mysteries so far. It's kind of like this shadowed villain dude I also want some more details about. To me, however, I'd say it's safe to assume that it's not Thanos, just from a few clues. And he's, usually the go-to guy you think of when someone's collecting gems together, or kind of seems like what this person will eventually do. But like he's holding a knife. That's not really a Thanos thing. And his hand doesn't look like a Thanos hand. So that's my reasoning there. But I don't know if you have any guesses or things I missed or things I'm not remembering from previous stories. I don't know. What's your guess if you had to guess? My guess is not Thanos. That's my guess right now. But
I don't. That's a hard call. I don't think it's a Thanos, but I heard Jerry Duggan say, I think it was on the World Blue podcast, that Thanos is going to play a central part in Infinity Wars.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think Thanos is in his own book right now, and he just hasn't messed with this right now. I don't know if those books are even tying together at all in any way. No, also at the same time,
he does jet away with a piece of the Time Stone, but maybe it's Loki.
Yeah, it could be. You're right there. So yeah, we'll find out, but I don't know. My reasoning again is just it's not Thanos because the dude's holding an. I've never like Thanos doesn't attack someone with a pussy ass knife like that.
No,
it's like a hunting knife.
Yeah.
So yeah, we then move on to Telfernia, and this is where the Guardians have been for really kind of most of these issues so far. We're jumping back into the events of them fighting this kaiju tree monster named Scar from the previous issue. That's kind of where it left off. Also, really, the second part of that cliffhanger was Groot jumped back to full size after the gardener, you know, kind of woke up and stopped being an asshole. And he's kind of like now Hulk's Drax amalgam combination of himself. You can kind of like, you know, say some crazy ass shit and throw down basically. So him and Scar are going to go at it, and Scar's got this definite size advantage, being kaiju sized, and even though Groot's full size, he's not quite that big. So Groot goes to attack, and he basically gets grabbed by Scar, and Scar's like brushing this off and decides to just throw him in his mouth. It turns out to be an awful idea, as Groot ends up filling like the monster's innards, I guess, with just like
flowers.
He like pulls a Pinocchio on him, and he vomits Groot back up. All these flowers come flying out. He dies. I'm pretty sure he's dead. They're like coming out of his eyes, his mouth. Like, hey, this dude is done for.
He's fucking dead. Yeah.
And Groot comes flying out, and he's got a smart ass comment. He's like, Groot is victorious, just as Groot foretold. So kind of a little bit talking like Hulk and Drax. That's why I said, you know, he's got this amalgam thing brewing. From there, we move on, continue this story. The Guardians, I don't know, but it's really just kind of a throwdown and fight for the majority of the issue, bouncing throughout this planet as they protect the Time Stone, along with Power Stone. I'm sorry, I'm mixing them all up. Along with Groot, so they hightail it off Telefernia and head with to Drax to help him out. Now we get some comedy here, as Rocket's the first on the scene, and if you remember way back from the beginning of the Guardians run, they had this Galactus spaceship they were using to fuck with people, and then that's what Rocket busts back out here, but his boosters are all fucked, and this thing comes crashing down to Earth, so Rocket has to bail. Then we got the distraction he provided, you know, momentarily distracting Warbringer, who is the Chitauri boss here on this world, and while he's distracted, the Guardians try to sneak up on him, to disastrous results for the Guardians as he takes out their ship. Seems pretty easily, splits it in half. So the Guardians bail, they come out, kick Warbringer in the face for a second. Then we jump to a battle with the Nova and Talon's leader, Talonor. We kind of get a cool reveal here, as Talonor is revealed to be Rich Rider's brother, Robbie. That mixing up names here. A lot of names in this book here.
That's from issue number 11, the Nova issue of All New Guardians, where they showed him being indoctrinated into the Talons, into the Raptors.
He's basically kind of a little brainwashed and also pissed at the Nova Corps because of the situation they kind of left him in. So that's his reason for being a bad guy currently, and he's having it out with his brother right now. While they're shouting at each other, they get attacked by Warbringer, who just seems to be jumping all over this issue and whooping everybody's ass, I guess. You don't know what happens here because you don't see the riders for the rest of the issue, but you see Warbringer. So it's safe to assume, I don't know, he whooped their ass, or there was a stalemate at some point and he moved on. I don't really know. You don't know much more than that. We move on again here, kind of join to the next big part, which is Ant-Man. Ant-Man gets a quick little feature. He's like, I got an idea for this stone. And he tries to shrink it down so they can really kind of grab it and get the hell out of Dodge, stop all this fighting. But his shrink technology doesn't seem to be working at all on the stone. So he's just clung to it like a fly on a window. Continuing to try, I guess, but not having any success this issue from what we've seen. The next big scene, I guess, would be this Eve Barakian or Yeah,
Backian,
Backian
yeah.
character. She's been the pregnant Nova Corps leader, commander, colonel, whatever they're calling her. She gives birth to a baby that at first looks like Barack Obama. Does that not look like Barack Obama? I mean, I'm like, what the fuck is Barack Obama doing in this comic book? And then later on, looks like a baby with a mustache. I don't like the baby goes from seemingly having hair to having no hair and a mustache. So his hair moved on his head to down to his upper lip.
That is weird because when you first see the baby, and then when she's handing the baby to her, he does have hair on his head, and then it gets less and less panel by panel as it goes on.
Yeah, I don't know. Birth was an ugly thing when I experienced it, and I got all lightheaded and really almost kind of blacked out for a second there because I was grossed out by blood and shit. So I would not be the best guy to reference for all this. I don't remember the baby. I was responsible for losing its hair as the 30 seconds or so moved by. Anyway, we move on. The fight really is like the majority of this issue on what planet is this fight take place on?
Zituang.
Yeah. That Chinese name.
Yeah.
As everyone's continuing to fight, we get a nice looking splash page here. Warbringer just comes down and like snarls at everybody, and then that's enough for Zitang for this issue. As we move on to more events elsewhere and join in with Adam Warlock, who's moving on from Earth to Saif. Is that how you say that planet name? SAI is Psi, and PH.
I think so. Right? Sounds right.
So that's where we're going. He's just woken up from his slumber in this pyramid. He's going to carry out his deal he's made with Kang, kind of the monkey paw he's agreed to, which is get the time stone for Kang in return for Kang helping him find the soul gem he's so fond of. When Adam arrives, instead of finding Magnus, who he anticipates to be on this planet Saif, he basically runs into the group of Ultron bots and just a shitload of bombs. And this happened, I don't know, it was last issue, right? Where Ultron killed Magnus?
It was in Infinity Countdown Prime.
Okay. So that's what we're picking up on here. And eventually, Adam tracks down Ultron after having to fight his way through a few mini Ultron armies. And the cliffhanger is a ball buster for sure. Definitely the most interesting part of this issue, which is Ultron trying to turn the Silver Surfer into one of his goddamn Ultron minions, I guess.
Ultron put his fist through Magus' chest.
He's got that was what in the Prime one, right?
Yeah.
And he's trying to just I don't know, turn the Silver Surfer into one of his minions here as the issue concludes. So yeah, and Adam Warlock's staring him right in the back here. You got Ultron Pym looking pretty fucking menacing with a bunch of bots around him holding down Silver Surfer on his board as they try to turn him. Looks great.
Did you notice Ultron? There's a speech bubble from Hank Pym's side, and then there's a speech bubble from the Ultron side.
Which one is that? In here, Warlock.
And the speech bubbles are made to look like the Hank Pym one looks like a regular speech bubble, and then the Ultron one kind of looks like, kind of like a weird looking cog.
Yeah, it's got the spikes around it.
Yeah.
They've been doing that dual personality thing with them for a while. Definitely. I see it on the very last page here.
Yeah.
That word bubble confused me. Actually, I thought one of them was Warlock for some reason. But yeah, I forget they do that with him. He argues with himself. He's not really arguing with himself here in this panel, though. He's just kind of playing along, being a douchebag. So it's interesting. This Ultron Pym thing. I hope they do a little less of the focusing on the Guardians fighting in the next one, and just develop some of the other people with the stones more. Like we didn't get any Black Widow stuff in this one. We haven't really seen her with the stone yet since Wolverine pawned it off to her. There was no Super Skrull stuff in this one. It was really dedicated mostly to the Guardians, which was my one beef with it.
Covers seem to really, like, every cover is what takes place predominantly in the issue. Like on the cover of this, it's the Guardians fighting for the stone, and that's all. In the next issue, it looks like Ultron and Silver Surfer. So I bet that's going to be like what we see the majority of in the next issue.
Fighting Adam Warlock. Yeah, so we're at the buy, borrow, or forget portion of things. I've really, like I said before we got into discussing the issue here, I've really enjoyed the Countdown series so far. It reminds me a lot of like the Prelude to Metal kind of issues, setting up the story that we're going to get into this summer. Pretty, if it's something you're planning on reading this summer, I would definitely say at least pick up the main issues, which I think is kind of where I'm limiting myself after this one. I might pick up the Darkhawk one. We'll see. I'm going to wait for reviews to come out and see what they're like before I commit money to them, is kind of where I'm at here. But I'm still going to pick up the ones that are labeled, Infinity Countdown, and see this through to the main event. I've just kind of settled on that in my brain. It feels like, I don't know. I'm having a hard time with this issue. I think it's a borrow for me personally, just because it focused so much on the Guardians and just two central fights. And I wanted kind of more of recap of what everyone's doing with these stones and developing their plans for them. But I still enjoyed it. Like I didn't not like the issue. It didn't deter me from wanting the future Infinity Countdown titled ones, but I don't know. I'm just not gonna. I don't know what the price level is at these tie-ins. I hope they're $3.99. If they're $4, I would definitely be out. That's going to be a go-to-the-internet thing. Yeah, look that up for me and maybe download them type thing. But I'm still all in on this story. This issue was a little down, probably the weakest of the Infinity Countdown titled ones for me yet. Although I did really love the cliffhanger. I like the mystery of who this main maybe bad guy is and what this dwarf is building. I want to know all that. I would just like a little less focus on the Guardian Central stuff. Even though I like that they're a big part of the story and I like those characters, it was just like a whole lot of fighting. And even for an action heavy fan like me, that it was just a tad too much without moving the story forward. And developing some of the things that came out of the fight, like what happened to the riders, like, oh, what the hell is Ant-Man doing? Is it working? Is it not? Because it is a big stone. Maybe it's just going to take a while. Like he's got a shitty microwave and it just takes forever to heat up his coffee.
Might not work at all, but
yeah, I know. That's kind of what I think's happening. Someone's going to just chip off a chunk and have to grind it down to fit what they want. The rest is just going to be there, and maybe a bunch of people end up getting some power from this power stone. I don't know. I'm rambling kind of. What do you think? I'm at borrow right now, though, for this one.
So first I want to start with I looked up the one shots, and like the Captain Marvel one is regular price $3.99. The Darkhawk is regular price $3.99. But does Captain Marvel has one issue? Captain Marvel only has one issue, but the Daredevil one, which is a one and done. There's just some of them, like Darkhawk has 4 issues, Champion has 2.
I see that, from the checklist and back.
But the Daredevil one has extra pages, so it's $4.99, and that one's going to deal with what's his name, Turk, with the Mind Stone.
I bet you he just loses it in that issue, which is why it's extra pages, and they're like, oh, let's get this away from this fucking schmo.
And they actually got a good artist, and Jerry Duggan's writing that. Everyone else has different writers, but Jerry Duggan's actually writing the Daredevil one, and Chris Sprouse is doing the art, and he's a really good artist. So might actually be trying to do something with that one. And then the Black Widow one is not on this solicit, but I'm sure that one might have extra pages.
Yeah, that's in June.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I already had most of the solicits pulled up for my notes and stuff. So
Oh, they got June out already?
They got July out already.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm so behind on life. That Darkhawk cover, though, looks super badass.
Yeah, it does. That's done by the guy who's doing the interior art. So
yeah, it looks sweet. I might have to pick that one up just for the cover. They might have talked me into that one because it looks pretty. But yeah, I don't know. You can continue with your thoughts there.
I really liked both of this issue and the last one seemed to be like a cap off to everything that was going on in the Guardians. So like everything that was been building up since All New Guardians #1 with the Gardener and Groot and all the little crazy Groots and stuff, that all seemed to, like, you know, towards the end of Guardians, it was starting to build and build and build, and they kind of had a blowout at the end. But then this is like the finale, these first 2 issues. The all-out battle for the Power Stone on Zituang, and there, you know, the beginning capped off the fight with the last of the evil Groots before Groot got his. So everything from the Guardians is kind of out of the way. So I think 3, 4, and 5 are probably going to continue on with all the questions that we need answered and all the other characters that, you know, because they basically just finished the Guardian story for the most part. Not the main Infinity Stone story, but all like the other lingering plot threads that didn't completely,
like that's what Peter hiding the location. They kind of threw that in there real quick.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure everyone by 3 is gonna settle down maybe a little bit and talk things out. And you know, the funny thing is the month that Infinity Countdown ends is Infinity Wars begins in the same exact month as Countdown ends. So it's like done, start, you know?
Yeah.
We just get right into it. And that's not gonna have any tie-ins either. It's gonna have one tie-in and from Doctor Strange, and that's it, because he's out in space. And I guess so. When I looked at the solicits for it, that was the only tie-in I could find was the Doctor Strange tie-in. Other than that, nothing else in the Marvel universe is a tie-in for Infinity Wars. But I really like the issue. I wish they stuck with Ives Savorsina on colors for Aaron Kuder, because it seemed to translate a little bit better. Like I just liked the colors with Kuder's art better in Guardians than I do with Jordi Belair. Jordi Belair's colors are like really chalky and kind of, I don't know, it still looks fantastic, but at the same time, it just looked better with Savorsina's colors. But all in all, I really enjoyed this issue. I really enjoyed the action. I really enjoyed all of the plot threads from Guardians finally coming to a close, so we can move on to focusing on the Infinity Stones and more Adam Warlock and Ultron fighting. And I'm sure at the end of that issue, it's going to take us on further from there to other characters that have been hinted. So for me, it's a buy, because I've just been excited. I've loved this whole entire thing that Jerry Duggan's put together since All New Guardians. It's just been like a hell of a ride, and I just don't want it to stop. I can't wait for Infinity Wars.
Yeah, I'm excited for the Infinity stuff too. This one was just like too focused on the Guardians when I'm excited for some other people too. So that's where my borrow comes from. But yeah, it's still like something I'm excited to read. And
I think it's the first event that I've like truly been excited for, and I don't have any feelings that I'm going to be disappointed. Like I know what
Marvel wise, definitely in a while.
Yeah, Marvel. That's what I mean.
Because I don't know, Civil War 2 didn't do it. Secret Empire didn't do it for me. I liked probably the first one I'm excited for since Secret Wars, to be honest with you.
And they're not going to kill all the other books with tie-ins, which makes me really happy. So you can just get the book, and that's it. You know, you don't have to buy all these other books to get the story. Just the main
I didn't
book.
get a response from Yesteryear Comics. Maybe they're not open yet. It is Sunday, or maybe they're closed.
I think they're closed, because when I looked on,
they're closed now.
They're closed
at 11. And oh yeah, that's probably West Coast time. So we're ahead of them. That's right.
Like 3 hours.
Yeah. So anyway, that's probably something you guys will know nothing about side talk, but we're going to wrap this up. I will have the vote up for you guys on Monday. 3 more books to choose from for next week. You let us know what you want to hear. We'll discuss it and tell you what we think. If you're looking for me on Twitter to get that voice in on your vote, it's at Beamer3660. Trev always retweets it, and you can find him at
Trev.
Yep, Trev. and we will discuss things next week with you guys. So until then, peace out, and we'll
Peace.
talk later. No.